Hello everyone, I'm Jana.
I'm Michael, and this is the Sleeve Chef.
I want to give a big thank you to everyone that's joining us tonight. A huge thank you to WMAR2. And I'm so excited to invite our very special guest, Karen, tonight. Karen, why don't you tell us a little bit about you?
I'm a mom of 3. I had my surgery about 10 months ago, and I haven't quite hit my goal weight yet, but I'm down about 70 pounds.
That's fantastic.
Amazing,
Congratulations.
amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to have you back in a few to taste test our amazing rockfish. So if you have any questions, you can let us know.
Okay, great.
Okay.
All right.
So what are we doing tonight?
We are doing a delicious, light, summery dish. So when I think summer, I think cooking out, I think grilling out. It's all stuff we want to do. You know, it's beautiful outside. We want to celebrate our new bodies. We want to celebrate how good we feel about losing our weight. So we are doing a grilled rockfish. We're going to top that with a delicious medley. We've got a little Kalamata olives, fresh artichokes, some tomato, basil, capers, and then we're going to serve that with some grilled asparagus, and we're going to finish it with some basic squeeze of lemon wedges. It's going to be light, healthy, and delicious.
Very fresh. And I'm really excited because we have a couple of things to talk about today.
We
because
do.
Summer is almost here, right?
It is.
We have our Father's Day 5K coming up.
So excited.
We have grilling season in general coming. So I do have a couple of things that I want to talk about tonight while you're cooking up this amazing dish.
All right.
So why don't you get started?
Great.
And in the audience, if you guys want to ask any questions, feel free to send them over. You know, you can type your questions right into Facebook, and I will try to get to every one of them. All right, so what are we starting out with?
All right, guys, so we're going to start out with our beautiful rockfish here. This is real basic rockfish. Rockfish is also called striped bass, in case you hear it by its other name. It's going to be the local Maryland rockfish. So we're going to start off by adding a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil to our rockfish. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do a half tablespoon to start on the top side, and then do the other half on the bottom.
So do you always have to do top and bottom like that?
Yep, you always want to make sure you season both sides of your fish. Very, very important. Any
Okay.
protein that you're cooking.
All right, I
Salt.
want to give a big thank you to Chris and Tova for coming on in.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for joining
People
us.
that have already come in. And so you're doing some salt, pepper,
Yep.
both sides.
Exactly.
What
Salt,
if
pepper.
people get weirded out by the skin?
Well, they can always either have the butcher remove it for them, or when they cook it, they can actually remove the skin itself. It comes off very, very easily.
All right, good. All right, hello, Tanya, Lida, Xanda.
Everybody's here tonight.
Everyone's
Love
here
it.
tonight. And I just want to say that rockfish is a really good fish to get your lean protein because it's one of the lower fat fishes. However, you get a really healthy dose of omega-3s. So it's a good way to kind of bump up those omega-3s that you need most days for
Absolutely.
brain health and overall body health. So
Absolutely.
this looks good. Where'd you get those?
I got those at Harris Teeter, actually.
nice.
I'm,
Okay.
I'm a huge fan of Harris Teeter. If you get a chance, pop by Harris Teeter, Wegmans. Their food is great, comparable to Wegmans, et cetera. Great
Nice.
stuff.
Okay, good. Good. And I see we already have fans of rockfish tonight.
All right. Wonderful,
Yes.
wonderful.
It's also one of the best fishes for vitamin D.
Didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Good to know.
So I do want to mention, I'm going to put the plug in for Father's Day 5K, which I will be running.
Will you? I will be running too.
Yay. Okay, so.
Well, I'll be running behind you.
Oh,
so I'll be
please.
just trying to keep up with Janice.
Please,
It's
we
my
know.
goal.
We know that you can run. So if you want to join both Michael and I at the run, feel free to come that day. You can sign up right that day, or you can sign up online at gbmc.org/5K.
Absolutely, guys.
Until June 16th. So
It's a lot of fun. It's a great race.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it.
It'll
Love
be
it, love
really
it, love it, love
fun.
it, love it. All right, so we've got our grill pan here, guys. You can see I've already got my extra virgin olive oil here in my rockfish. So that's going to be so that we don't have it stick to the pan, right? Really, really important. We've got our grill pan here. It's sitting on a medium-high heat. We're going to let that get nice and hot.
So if you're doing it on the regular grill, like outside, do you have any tips for that?
Absolutely, yeah. So same exact ideas apply here, right? So we want to make sure we get our grill nice and hot. Clean your grill off. I can't stress that enough. You won't achieve the grill marks that you're looking for or the flavor profile that you're looking for unless you clean those grates. Let them get nice and hot. That'll burn right off. Give the grates a good scrape, and then you can just put a little bit of oil on top of the grate if you want, or you can just simply put it on your protein as well.
All right, cool. Good.
So we're going to lay these guys down first. Get this a little hotter here.
Okay. So you took it off because it's not hot enough.
I did. That's exactly why.
You'd likely want to hear the sizzle, I would suppose.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we'll switch her up here.
As you're doing that, I want to mention that, I've been talking to a lot of people about going to actual cookouts and barbecues and making sure that you feel confident going into it, knowing that you're not too hungry, so you don't feel like you're overeating, and, there's so many options out there that aren't within our, meal plan, and that's okay. I would recommend not only eating breakfast and lunch before your actual cookout, right? So making sure that you still treat it as an actual meal, staying hydrated throughout the day, and making sure that when you get there, you can do half of your plate just non-starchy veggies, a fourth of it the protein, because they're always going to have that at a cookout, and then the other fourth of your plate, you choose what you want. And if there's, alcoholic beverages there, of course, my recommendation, not drinking until a year out after surgery, and then really keeping it on the lower end and drinking water in between.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you are struggling with, connecting back to yourself when you go to these places and you're feeling a loss of control, or you're thinking about, okay, what is my relationship with food right now? I always plug this book. It's awesome. It's The Emotional First Aid Kit by Cynthia Alexander. It's written by a psychologist that worked with bariatric patients. And I figure, summer reading, this is a good time to pick something up.
I'm certain that's a great beach
love
read.
this. Yeah, I love this book. So, and it's given me some tips as well. Awesome. So what are we doing here? This looks
so
great.
we've got our thinly sliced garlic in here, guys. And then we also have our fresh tomato. So we peeled, seeded, and then large diced that tomato.
Very nice.
And you see I went in very, very quickly to the pan here. So we're going to add a little salt and pepper. Wait for this to finish perfuming.
All right. And a big thank you to Tom, Amy, Michelle, Terry, Dana, and Nancy for showing up. And Amanda, thank you guys.
All
and
sorts of goodness.
Feel free to ask any questions, cooking, nutrition questions, anything that you feel like you need to know. We're here.
Absolutely. So you can see here, guys, you see my garlic is starting to brown just a bit here. This is what we're looking for. You really just want to sweat that garlic, allow it to brown. Notice I started with my fish first as well. Got my protein on first. Then I know it's going to take the longest time to cook. And I've got as my protein rests, I'll start up my asparagus next. Then I've got my topping here as well.
And that name of the book is The Emotional First Aid Kit by Cynthia Alexander. And I know that it's available on Amazon and, for the Kindle and everything, but it's a really easy read.
So then next, guys, we put our quartered artichoke hearts in. And keep in mind, so the artichoke hearts, I buy these marinated. Artichokes are something it's one of the actually more difficult things to prep if you're not familiar with it. It takes a fair amount of time to actually prep an artichoke heart. So I definitely recommend buying them marinated. They're great marinated. They're really, really healthy, super flavorful, great little snack. If you want to throw them on a salad, they're incredibly versatile. They're incredibly versatile. I highly recommend keeping them around.
Very good.
It's very neutral flavor as well.
Yes.
I wouldn't say it's really overwhelming.
It has like a little bit of a vinegar flavor when you get it jarred.
All right, guys.
We have a great question about how diverse this recipe is. Like, can you use it with other fish?
Oh, great question. Yeah, absolutely. Sure. You definitely can. Yeah, I mean, keep in mind, like, this is all very neutral. That's going to go with both whitefish, like flakier whitefish, like flounder, tilapia, again, our rockfish here. Or you could do something that's got a bit more body to it, like a salmon, for example, or swordfish.
Yeah. I would even go as far to say this could go with most proteins. Like,
absolutely.
If you're making this gorgeous sauce, why not put it on chicken if you didn't have any fish available?
Agreed. So next up, guys, we're going to add our pitted Kalamata olives in. I love these. A fun fact about olives is that olives are inedible off the tree. Keep that in mind. If anybody's ever like, oh, no, man, it's not true, try them. Don't listen to them. It's not true. It's true. They are inedible off the vine. So you want to go ahead and actually, they'll be brined first before you eat them.
Where can I find olive trees, though?
Not right around here, I think. Florida. That's where you can find it.
All right. Next Slave Chef, we're in Florida.
Yes, exactly.
I wish.
That'd be great. Make it happen.
Okay, so how long do we keep these on the grill for?
Yep, so we've got our, with our grill pan here, guys, I'm going to have these on, because they're a little bit thicker, so you're going to notice I'm cooking them for a bit longer on that first side. So they've been down for about 2-3 minutes now. That's why I've been checking them.
And you know how, like, when you cook salmon, sometimes it's nice to have it a little bit, like, raw in the middle?
Yep.
Can you do that with these, or is that more just for salmon?
You can. Absolutely. You can do that with most fish. I don't recommend swordfish, though. Swordfish will be a bit much if you try to do that a little bit under. One thing I like doing, too, guys, a quick tip here with these olives, is I like reserving some of the juice and actually putting it in with the olives and in with the actual sauce itself.
Okay, cool.
Because it adds that additional liquid without adding those extra calories.
Nice. Very good. All right.
We'll add our keepers in next.
And hello,
Love these
Thais, Tanya, Melanie, Sean.
All of our
Phyllis,
friends are here
and
tonight.
welcome.
Love it. So again, I'm going to add a little bit of salt. There's really no need to add a lot of salt to this dish because you've got the olives in there, you've got the capers in there.
Yeah.
There's plenty of naturally occurring sodium happening within this dish.
And look, if you do have high blood pressure and you're watching how much sodium you're consuming, you can always give a quick wash to the olives and the capers, or you can leave one of them out. You don't have to do both of them.
Great, exactly. Great point.
Okay, good.
All right, guys. So one more thing here. Whenever you've got your asparagus, people are tempted to take the band off initially. Keep the band on when you cut it. It makes it much, much easier to cut. Plus, you can use it, if you want to, as a guide for how long or how short you want your asparagus to be. So for this grilled asparagus, I went out and bought some thinner asparagus because it'll cook quicker. I'll go ahead and cut. There you go. And then, too, what's nice is it'll actually keep and hold here, too.
Yeah.
So it's not falling all over the place when you cut it.
That's very smart. And when I was looking into asparagus, just like, how long to keep it and blah, 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 because I sometimes especially asparagus, I sometimes let it go in my refrigerator. So 48 hours, you should be using it. And if not, wrap a wet paper towel around the tips right here.
Yep.
In your refrigerator. It smells like an Italian restaurant.
Right. I love it. Look at this. Look at the colors here, right?
Beautiful.
Beautiful, beautiful colors.
Eat the rainbow, literally. All right. And hello, Carly and Christy. And guys, if you're just joining us, we are doing a gorgeous rockfish.
We are.
Just in time for Father's Day.
Absolutely.
And just in time for the summer season of grilling. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. We are here for your nutrition and your cooking questions.
We are. And it's overall guidance as well. Triple threat.
So we had a question about using different types of oils, like for health benefits. And really, at the end of the day, you should only be using about a tablespoon of oil anyway when you're cooking. And so think about like olive oil versus canola oil versus avocado oil. They all have different health benefits. So either one is fine. Okay. Either one is fine. And I think we had a question about keto coffee. Keto coffee is essentially, it's usually MCT oil or coconut oil placed in coffee, and if it's good for weight loss surgery patients in general. Typically, we don't recommend high fat because the newer, smaller stomach doesn't break down fats as easily and efficiently as a regular stomach that has not had weight loss surgery. So I don't usually recommend the keto coffee. And I don't recommend keto diet in general because it kind of shifts all those macronutrients and it doesn't give the body what it needs when you're on a very limited calorie diet, which is what you are on after surgery. So you really need to up that protein, and keto limits the protein. But in general, keto coffee, if you just used, you know, some 1% milk or fat-free milk and some Splenda, you got a low-carb coffee to begin with.
That is a great point.
Okay. And I am getting back to this. Okay. So where are we now?
All right. So I am actually throwing a little bit of a curveball here. So we're going to do a little ad-libbing on the fly. What do you guys say?
Let's hear it.
All
what
right,
are we
so
doing?
here's what we're doing. You may have noticed, if your pan starts to look like this, you want to get it off the heat and get it off as quickly as possible. Why? Because your food is going to taste like that, nice and burnt afterwards. So I was originally going to grill the asparagus. So we're going to do a little curveball here. We're going to clear this off.
Okay, good.
And then we are going to do our asparagus in this pan as opposed to the other one.
Nice. See, look, guys, we're live. You know, there's nothing that we can do except for improv.
Exactly. It's the nature of the beast.
Good job, Mike.
Give me a napkin.
Yes.
Thank you. Sometimes you throw in a curveball when you're cooking, and you've got to improvise quickly. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this pan that we went in previously that we know doesn't have any burnt material or anything in it. Because if I tried to cook the asparagus in the pan I was going to cook it in, it would not be healthy. It would not be good. It would not be poorly, just really ineffective and just not tasty at all. So we're going to go sauteing this asparagus as opposed to grilling it. So what you would want to do for grilled asparagus is a traditional grill, scrape it clean, extra virgin olive oil, salt, pepper on your asparagus on the grill. I like to put either a piece of tinfoil down or do it in a basket, because it just keeps it a little bit easier. The asparagus can roll around and be a bit finicky on a larger charcoal grill, etc.
Right, and if it's thin, it can cook really quickly.
Exactly. So you have to be really, really mindful of that.
Okay. And I just want to mention that asparagus is one of those amazing vegetables that gives you a ton of nutrients. Super duper rich in vitamin K, folate. It's obviously low in calories. It's a non-starchy veggie. It gives you a ton of fiber, and it's just fun to cook with. You know, and it's fun to eat.
Absolutely. So again, we're going to wait for our oil to perfume. So I get this nice and coverage here. This is another critical thing that you might not do when you're thinking about it at home, is you want to make sure that you get plenty of oil all over the bottom of that pan, because anywhere the oil is not, it's just going to end up sticking to the pan. Really important little tip.
Yeah, so when you're using limited oil for the diet, it might be worth it to invest in some of the sprays.
Exactly.
And you can get any type of oil spray that is out there pretty much nowadays. You can even turn your oil container into a spray.
There you go.
All right, and Bree, Akeisha, Kelly, thank you guys so much for joining. We are doing a little makeshift asparagus grilling.
We are. We're going to do our sauteed asparagus. In case you guys missed it earlier, little tip, if your pan starts to look like this, you want to make sure that you get your rockfish out of there as quickly as possible and finish it in another pan, because otherwise it's going to end up tasting like the bottom of this pan.
We don't want that.
Very, very important. No, we don't. So we've got our asparagus cooking here.
And we just got a question. Chris wants to try different fishes except salmon. Any suggestions on what's the easiest?
In terms of cooking, eating, I would say in terms of cooking, tilapia is great. Any of the flakier whitefishes I like, tilapia, flounder, catfish if you feel like it. Again, the catfish can be a bit gamey. Red snapper is great. Rockfish, the striped bass we're doing here is great. Chilean sea bass is great. Cod, exactly.
I would mention that if you're concerned about the sourcing of your fish, where it's coming from, how much mercury is in it, anything like that, go on to seafoodwatch.org. It's an amazing website
Yeah,
that goes
agreed.
through each and every type of fish that's out there, and you can check, by where you're from, like the region that you're purchasing it in, and you can, even show it to the fishmonger in any grocery store. And compare it to what you're purchasing.
Yep.
So it'll tell you if it's like good, moderate, or if you should stay away for now.
Absolutely. All right,
Okay.
guys. So what we are looking for here for our dish is we've got our rockfish here. Line these guys up. Boom, boom, boom. There we are.
All right. And I don't know about you guys. I tend to like my veggies cooked a little bit more, not as crispy. But at the same time, you're losing some of the nutritional value of the vegetables when you overcook them. So when you look at something like the asparagus, it becomes like a brighter green,
Yep.
notating when it's like pretty much done.
Yep.
And Tanya, I know that there are concerns about tilapia because of where it's sourced and
Yep.
how much mercury is in it. I'm about to sneeze. Again, live, right? Okay, so again, you can go on to seafoodwatch.org to see if it's, in the clear from where you're buying it and what type of tilapia it is.
So important.
Yeah.
I would say with tilapia, if you're concerned, as you should be, about where you're sourcing from, I would say go to a vendor, go to the grocery store, and buy it from the fish counter.
Yes.
Don't buy it frozen out of the packet. Well, it's a little. This one's way less expensive than buying it fresh. So therefore, again, if you've got if you're a little bit worried, it's going to cost a little bit more, but rest assured, it's going to be a better product for you all together.
Yeah.
So here's our asparagus, guys. This is the color that we're looking for. Notice that nice bright green,
Beautiful.
as Jana had mentioned earlier.
Yeah, and I also want to mention with just fish in general, like tilapia, you might want to avoid the farm-raised ones, but
Agreed.
But yeah, talking to the fish counter, that's the best way to go,
Agreed.
and usually it's the
That's
freshest as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Agreed. Absolutely. And then ask them too. Hey, is this fresh? Is it frozen beforehand and then thawed out? Again,
Right.
very very important
Frozen
questions.
at sea,
and
wild
don't be
caught.
right. That's very common for places to
Yeah.
go out and for fishermen to go out and get it, pack it with ice, and then flash freeze it, which is okay. It's not
Yeah.
the best, but you ideally want fresh off the boat, but based on volume, etc.
Right, you can always get, perfection. And, 2 servings of fish a week is like perfect in order to get your omega-3s. And so you're not eating it too often anyway. Usually you're not eating it at every meal.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right. We've got our beautiful lemon wedges here. Let's got one more. There we go.
And I have been loving using lemon on pretty much everything that I'm
love it.
cooking nowadays.
Love it. Lemon juice. It's the acid from the lemon juice really just helps brighten up the dish.
Beautiful.
Look at that. How good that looks.
Wonderful.
Yum, yum, yum. All right. So our asparagus is good to go here as well.
Okay.
So normally what I would do is serve this as a separate item altogether and then let people sort of a la carte this through,
Yeah.
just based on the size of the plate. But what we'll do is we'll just slide a little bit on the side here.
Perfect.
And again, Janet brought this point up, and I think it's really important to kind of hammer it home. But whenever you talk about plate sizes, right, you notice on the show we tend to use smaller plate sizes.
Yep.
And this was something that I didn't really appreciate until I actually started to go through this weight loss journey and realized that whoa, these plates that I was originally serving on were humongous. And I think mentally you're thinking, I have to fill the entire plate, I have to fill the entire grocery cart,
And then
etc.
I have to finish the
And then I have to-
entire plate.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So when you have a full plate, but it's smaller, you feel like you're getting more.
You
It's
do.
a little bit of a
Right.
mind mental game, but that's okay. Why not?
Absolutely, that's exactly what it is.
Okay.
But what you end up with is just this beautiful little dish where we've
Oh.
used the entirety of the plate here. Look how beautiful that looks.
And I'm just gonna,
All right?
all right, so now we're gonna have Karen back up. You can come on down and we're gonna try
Uh-huh.
some of this fish.
Absolutely. Let's
And
do
just
it.
a big recommendation to all of our patients, eat your protein first. That's something that a lot of people get away from, especially within the first year. You're never gonna meet your protein goals if you don't eat your protein first because you're gonna fill
this
up
to
on
you.
other stuff. So here you go.
Give a little fresh squeeze of lemon over top of everything.
Okay, and I am going to grab us some forks.
Wonderful.
Okay, here you go.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, thank you.
Okay, bon appetit.
Delicious.
Bon appetit, indeed.
Let's see.
Let's eat. Oh, this looks so good. Yum.
Wonderful. Okay, so I'm loving the garlic. The capers give a nice little bite to it.
Yum.
All right, Karen, what do you think?
It's great.
It's good?
Very good.
We'll serve it to the family.
I will definitely try.
Okay,
Excellent.
and now I just have to do the asparagus. A
Yum.
little bit crispy, a little bit soft on the outside, perfectly cooked. Gorgeous, thank you so much.
Yum.
Come to my Father's Day event.
Deal.
All right, so just a friendly reminder, sign up for the Father's Day 5K. Join us. We're going to be walking, running, jogging, whatever you want to do. You can come and just participate, meet some new friends, meet some new family.
Yep. It's a great event, guys. It's a really fun way to get together with the community, do something healthy, do something in the morning, bring your family, bring your kids, bring your friends. It's a fantastic event.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Have an amazing Father's Day. Have an amazing start to the summer.
Absolutely.
And if you need us, just let us know. We're
Right.
always online. And thank you so much, Karen, for joining us
Oh, thank
tonight.
you.
And thank
Yes.
you for joining us.
Thank you so much, everybody. Enjoy your Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Yay.
Thank you very much, WMER2, for letting us use this beautiful space.
Yep.
Thank you much, everybody from GBMC, for letting their time and bringing everybody out, all the behind-the-scenes work. Thank you very much once again, everybody. Have
All
a great
right.
rest of your evening, and good night.
Good night.